Look good, feel good.
So as long as I look good for the podcast.
That's right.
So now, I don't know what a podcast is.
Podcast is, do you have on demand?
I'm not going to say anything.
I do.
Okay, so it's like that, but on your computer, and it's generally audio. But people do video.
Okay. And so you do this every week or every day?
It goes up once a week. We kind of record in chunks. Like after we record with you, we're going to the tavern, a new tavern on the wharf, to record with a band, Anika Scribbles.
Cool. What kind of music?
They're kind of folky bluegrassy.
Okay.
It's 4 guys, percussionists, stand-up bass, guitar, and banjo.
What time do they start?
It's just
Just
a
a
podcast.
podcast.
They're not playing.
Oh, they're not playing.
No, but they're going to bring some instruments. But they're going to play on the podcast.
I don't think you were invited. It's an open thing.
Yeah. So the important thing is welcome to the podcast. We want to welcome back our listeners. This is the Inebri-art podcast. We're recording back at the craft beer cellar in their sub-basement, and we are here with what apparently is kind of a legendary family in Plymouth, from what I understand, the Feys. At least that's what one of our former guests, Carl, said. And we're here with Tom. Carl does drink a lot. But we're here with Tom, Ben, Chris, and Mal. And so, Tom, this is what I've been told, there's 7 siblings? Seven of your kids.
7 of my kids, yeah. And I also have 6 siblings, so there's 7 in my family as well.
Wow. And everyone's musically inclined?
In my family, yes.
Okay.
In my siblings, no.
No. So, Tom, what instruments do you play? We might as well go around the table. So, Tom.
Vocals is my main instrument.
Okay.
But I also play bass and guitar.
And Ben, what do you play?
He lied. Not everyone's musical. I'm here for the beer.
You're here for the
You
beer?
played a mean saxophone in your day.
I grew up trying a few different things.
Yeah.
I decided to stick closely to sports,
Nice.
but I go to all their shows and cheer them on.
Oh, that's important. My son plays saxophone.
How old is he?
He's 14. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
He's playing in the high school band?
He plays in the high school band, and they're going down to Washington, D.C. to march in the Veterans Day Parade.
Really?
Yeah.
What high school?
Bridgewater. Bridgewater Raynham. So,
Yeah, nice. Is he going to take... Do you let him listen to all the classics, like all the sax players, the jazz guys?
It's funny because a couple of years ago, I'm like, I'm going to buy him a bunch of CDs of bands that I like that have saxophone. And after I was kind of like making some notes about bands, and I called my ex-wife, and I'm like, does he have something to listen to a CD on? And she's like, no. And I felt super old.
So
I got him like an iTunes gift card and be like, these bands you should check out.
What bands were you telling him?
Let's see, I told him Morphine, which is was a big band where I grew up because they were from Whitman Hanson. They were,
really?
Yeah, the saxophone player is alumni there. And then there was another band, Clutch Grabwell, the local band. Yeah. And I used to work at Stop and Shop, and they were like a big thing, Stop and Shop.
You have to, Grover Washington Jr., tell him to listen to some of that guy.
Okay.
And it's more simple, but it's more jazz, and it's more very cool stuff.
It's very
more
funny.
isolated sax.
He just started jazz band, and he's really into marching band, which I hated as a kid. Yeah.
You played in marching band?
I used to.
What did you play?
I played clarinet, bass clarinet, saxophone. This isn't supposed to be about me.
How did you march around?
Will you stop interviewing him?
I'm curious about that. The marching band with all the steps, you could remember all that and still play all the...
Yeah, I did it too.
Yeah,
What happened?
Well, I'll get to you. Hold on.
Apparently, he thinks you're smarter than I am. So, I played concert band, marching band, jazz band. Played a little guitar, but when I went to art school, I kind of just stopped playing. I went to Montserrat and Beverly. Anyways, but you guys. So Chris,
GT, that's why I didn't.
Right.
So Chris, you were in marching band, apparently?
Yeah, I did marching band, yeah.
Nice.
And we actually went down to, I think it was Washington, D.C. as well. Isn't that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we did an inauguration.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
it was,
wow, really?
Yeah, it was for Bush and Cheney. And
Yeah.
there was like a big, musical celebration down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we took a trip down there.
Yeah.
I have some fond memories of marching
Nice.
band.
You went to the Bush Cheney...
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
We have pictures.
It was really cool.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go down because my girlfriend has family down there, so we're going to go down and stay with them.
Nice.
Make sure we check out the bridge.
Yeah.
How close did you get to the inaugural?
Oh, not close at all. There was like, there just so happened to be, I think, if I remember this correctly, a competition of marching bands that just so happened to kind of coincide with their inauguration. It was very close timing, but I don't think they had much to do with each other.
Do you remember much about Washington, D.C.?
No, not particularly. I mean, we walked around to a few of the buildings. I think we did a museum. Which one specifically, I can't
Smithsonian?
remember.
Natural history.
I don't remember. I should remember.
That's what I'm looking forward to.
Wait,
But
you
it
went
was
to D.C.
right
too?
Yep. Natural history. Natural history.
When did you go to D.C.?
So for our listeners, this is where Tom interviews his family.
There were too many of us around the kitchen table growing up, so he's got to.
Oh, I bet. I'm sure it's hard to keep track of.
catching up
I
now.
can't hear much, so
Yeah.
I don't catch much conversation.
I'm sure it's hard to keep
But wait,
track
I'm
of.
curious about this.
No, we're talking about me. This is my turn.
We'll get back to
So
it.
I also play
So
drums.
what do you play?
I play drums,
Okay,
and I
yeah.
do vocals,
Yeah,
and I can also fart around on like a guitar here and there.
yeah.
But I consider myself a drummer and a singer.
Nice.
He and my youngest son Patrick just came out with an album that was just killer.
Oh, what's
Good
the,
album.
what's the name of the album?
The name of the album is 12-inch by the band. Our band is called the Fiffs.
The Fiffs? And where can
Fiffs.
F-I-F-F?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, one more time?
Fiffs. The
See,
Fiffs.
that doesn't help me. I spell terribly when people screw stuff up. It makes my life horrible.
Yep.
So for our listeners, if they wanted to check it out,
Mhm.
is it on
iTunes, Spotify. You can buy it on Amazon.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's a great album.
It's a great album.
really
Yeah.
is.
Good.
It really
Good
is.
rock and roll.
It really
Cool.
is.
Yeah.
Is it just the two of you, or is there a whole band?
No, and my buddy Nick Carr, who's he plays bass on the album. Pat plays guitar. I play drums in the album, and also all of us kind of sing a little bit. So
And we also have Mal here. And what do you play?
I'm mainly a singer, but I
Mainly singer.
play a bit of guitar and a bit of piano.
Okay. And they were talking something about Northern Lights. Is that what is
That was
what
my
is
high
that?
school a cappella group.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
really cool, actually.
Did you also go to Washington?
Nope.
I would have forgotten.
Went a lot of other places, but not that cool.
Well, where'd you go?
I mean, we were a competitive group, so we competed in Boston and a couple of like random high school towns around Massachusetts. Hi.
Oh.
Sorry.
Sorry.
We're back.
Yeah, technical difficulties with my brain. So, growing up, did you guys automatically like take to music? Did you kind of, I don't want to say that you forced them, but did you
they
kind of like
forced us.
encourage
It
them?
was.
Yeah.
It was.
It was
we
a lot of,
we all
like-
took piano lessons.
Yeah.
Which was good. And when I look back on it, it was probably the best thing for those of us who kind of stuck with music.
Yeah.
Because I think that's sort of the easiest way to learn the foundation of scales
Mhm.
and things like that.
Yeah.
And so I think, learning piano is probably the best thing for it.
Here's a great piano story in Christopher. He had taken for 4 or 5 years, and piano lessons aren't cheap.
Yeah.
And Christmas time rolls around. He's what, 8, 9, 10, 11, whatever you were, and it's like first part of December. I said, Chris, it's Christmas, so I drag out an easy Christmas book and I put on the piano. I said, play me a song. I can't read that. What do you mean you can't read that? He said, I can't read music. So we've been teaching you for 5 years, taking you to school and all this money. How do you learn? He said, well, I memorized your hands.
Yeah.
So he would know where the hands were going.
Yeah, I
You can't
would
read
memorize
sheet
it.
music?
Yeah.
Not like sight. Like I think sight reading is like the hardest thing.
Oh, it is.
Now
someone
could
who-
do it.
That's
You
that.
can do it now.
I think that is like impossible to do.
That didn't only come with
do that.
piano, though. That came with you guys forcing us through school bands, too. Like playing flute all those years
How
and
long
singing.
did you play flute through?
4th and 5th. And then 6, 7, 8 is, I did chorus in
Chorus.
middle school, and that's when you have to learn how to sight read. And then in high school, if you audition for anything, you have to, part of your audition is to sight read.
Really?
Mhm.
You get sight
Can't
read now.
sight read, you can't
Vocal
Yeah.
music? No kidding. That's good.
So, Tom, how did you get started?
The Beatles.
The Beatles?
The Beatles on Ed Sullivan. That's all I know.
Yeah.
The first show. The first show on Ed Sullivan. It was I don't know, 12, 13, 14, whatever it was. And he said, oh, it's got to be the Beatles. And yeah, it was probably that was really drawing me.
And so, what Carl was telling me is that you play or played in a band he's telling me some sort of story where you were playing up on stage at the New World Tavern and they were playing some sort of video behind you.
No, for the listeners, you got to check out this music video.
Is it on YouTube?
Oh yeah, the video is called Chrissy's Sister. Chrissy's
Writing
Sister.
that down.
You gotta check it out. It's Tom Fey,
Foreign Legion.
and it is an awesome video. Number one, it's a great song. It's a very catchy
Well,
song.
we can probably put a link in the description.
Yeah,
so we'll do
and the
that for our
video
listeners.
is hilarious. It's Tom
Yeah.
in all his glory.
And
But yeah, so-
how long ago was this video? Oh.
82.
82.
So like the height
because
of
that's the year
video.
we got married and almost got me divorced.
Yeah.
Well, they consider the video too racy to put on MTV.
Oh, get out!
Yeah.
Wow, really?
And if you
They did.
watch it, you'll say, how? How do they consider this too racy? Because
Wow.
when you consider what's on TV nowadays,
Yeah.
Yeah, and too racist. They didn't like the guy cutting off the head. They were dressed like Arabs.
What?
You can't.
What kind of music was this?
It was a good rock and roll.
Yeah, it was really good.
Very good song.
Yeah.
Good tune. But the director who did the storyboard and everything, he was just. He was a little.
But to Carl's story, we were playing. So me and my father, Tom, we play in the classic rock band. We just do a bunch of covers with my little brother, Pat Fey,
Yeah.
and our really good friend, Paul Moyer. And we were playing at the New World Tavern, and Carl, unbeknownst to anyone, we're all playing, and behind us, he's got the video of Chrissy's sister playing all behind us, so it was really fun.
Were you
like a
playing
comedy.
Chrissy's sister at the time?
No.
No.
I don't
That
remember.
would
No,
cool.
because we don't do that.
Touche.
We don't do that.
Right.
But yeah, it's like a comedy. Like
Yeah,
a
it's
actual
a
March
funny
type
video, yeah.
comedy. It was meant to be funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was kind of crazy.
But you got to check it out.
I will definitely look at it. We'll put a link. Sorry.
So
Tom.
back to you playing school bands.
This isn't about
This
me.
isn't
So how many bands? So you play in a band. You play in a band with Tom. Tom, do you still play in a band?
I play with Chrissy.
Yeah.
Okay.
We covered that already.
Well, I should say.
Sorry, I'm
No,
just-
that's fine.
Just messing with you.
No,
I played
was there
solo.
another band?
I played at this time.
Yeah.
I also do a solo thing. Just along when we're not playing with the band. Yes. Could they be quiet up there?
It's no, probably not. So how many bands are currently running in the family? That's
So
like-
there's the Fey Band, which is me, my father, Pat, and Paul.
yeah.
The Fiffs, which is me, Pat, and Nick. There's Third Left,
Yeah.
which is my brother Zach's band with Brian Hitchens, Brian Pierce, and Jim.
And Pat plays with Beanie and
Yeah, he does some.
Chris and Carl Heine's son plays in that band too.
Mhm.
Oh. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think that's about it. for
All I
now.
knew that Carl's son did was dishes. That's
No.
all. That's all Carl says.
Yeah, he's really
Oh
good.
no, that's right. I
He's
did know
good,
that.
yeah.
You know what? I
He
did
has
know
three
that.
sons. He
Yeah.
wraps them all in the
I'm
picture.
thinking of the other one. He did mention his son went to Berkeley.
Yeah, and Mal also is going to start working this summer with Pat as a duo, working around town.
Nice. So, do you guys full time work in music, or do you like have
No,
other
it's like
day
a
jobs?
weekend thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's more fun that way. I try full-time music, and
because we work.
it makes it work.
Yeah.
You know, it's more fun to be able to just play music when you want to play music, and if you don't want to play, don't play music.
Nice.
I tell my kids all the time, if music ain't fun, if you're not having a good time, just don't do it. You know, it should be fun. Music's supposed to be fun, not work.
Yeah. And so you guys obviously play at the New World Tavern, but like where else do you play? What's your favorite place to play?
What's your favorite place to play?
I really like New World.
New World's a great
It's
stage.
because
good
they're
sound
probably the
system.
one of the only places in town that actually have
The
the setup,
stage
the
and-
stage,
yeah,
a
yeah,
sound
yeah.
system, a back room,
Yeah.
a venue, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we play
Cabbie Shack.
Cabbie Shack,
We've done Waterfront.
Main Street, Black Raspberry, which is also fun.
Black Raz is a nice place to play too.
It's a cool place to watch a show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is.
I don't think I've ever. Oh, that's pretty big in there.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There used to be an old blues club like 40 years ago.
Yeah.
And a lot of greats went through that.
What, Handlebar Harry's?
Yeah. No, downstairs where Handlebar Harry's was a different room. That was upstairs.
That's what I thought.
The-
I didn't
the
know.
Black Raz was the blues club.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they had some big guys come through there.
We're mostly local. Zach will do a lot of gigs with Third Left
Yeah.
Up in
around.
Boston,
Yeah, they've toured down in Florida for Christ's sake, so they've been
New
everywhere.
Orleans. They were all over
Oh,
the
wow.
place.
Yeah.
They went up and down the East Coast a few
Yeah.
times. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's funny how like things are connected. When Carl's like, oh, you should get the Fays on, and I'm like, who are they? He's like, oh, well, One of them's in third left. I'm like, oh, I've heard of them. So like, I started talking to Tom, and I'm like, oh, we recorded at the beer cellar. He's like, in Plymouth? I'm like, yeah. He's like, my daughter works there. I'm like, who's that? So it's just weird, like how this town is like everyone knows everybody.
It's funny.
else.
It's a big town, but it's very little respected. It's you know what
The thing that I love
everyone.
about it is it's like everyone gets along. Like all the owners down here, it just seems like everyone's very
it's
friendly with
very
each
cool.
other. It's great.
It's very cool.
So
I tell my kids all the time, never take Plymouth for granted. I grew up in a suburb of Pittsburgh, Steel Town,
Mhm.
and there's no ocean, there's no pretty environment like we
Yeah.
have here. Plymouth is like the best town you could ever be in.
That's kind of why I moved down here, because there's always something to do. There's always something going on. I grew
It's a
up.
beautiful
Yeah.
town.
Oh, it is. It's absolutely during the summer. It's like being on vacation every day.
Even in the winter, it's like being on vacation.
Yeah,
You drive
sometimes.
down unless we get one of those 1 foot snowstorms.
Yeah.
But I tell my kids, look out at the ocean, check out every time you drive by, you look out and you see what you got there.
Yeah, that's great.
great.
So Ben, so you used to play music, not so much anymore. Have you ever thought about like kind of getting back into it?
Yeah, it's
or-
funny. Halfway through high school,
Yeah.
all these guys were at their peak musically, and I was just playing baseball. So I decided to give it another shot, and I convinced my parents to sign me up for piano lessons again
Again. Yeah.
as like a 17-year-old. And I did it for a couple sessions and practiced my butt off and could never get it. Just couldn't get it.
Yeah.
Just couldn't figure it out. I really couldn't.
But when Ben's in the right mood, you should hear him sing Tenacious D.
Yeah.
And what's the other one that he sings? There was a TV show that you learned that he would sing. That army show.
over there.
Over there.
I don't know if anyone's going to remember that. I think they had about 3 episodes.
Yeah.
It's great.
Maybe that's a good thing. But I never really, I couldn't do it. I tried again.
Yeah.
Couldn't get it.
Great baseball player.
Yeah.
TJ.
So, but is there like friendly competition between you guys to like?
Between my bands.
Hey, we got one more Fey. Hey, Sheila. How's it going?
I'm great. How are you
Not
guys?
bad. So, just to break it to the rest of you, for our listeners, Sheila has just shown up. She's another Fey, who I thought was here already because I mistook Mel for you. But she's already been on our podcast.
She has?
She has.
Doing what?
Well, we were at the Food and Wine Expo,
Mm-hmm.
and she popped in, and we stopped her and asked a few questions. So that was fun.
She's a regular radio
So-
personality.
So she's a returning guest.
She was on
Yeah.
TV. She's on WATD every first Thursday of the month.
WATD
Yeah.
is so. What's WATD?
Oh, just a local.
Is that the one out in Marshfield?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. I do know that one. So what do you do for that?
I do for my real job, 2400. I do a monthly update on WATD with Rob and Lisa to just tell them what's going on, what we're planning for 2020, all those.
Then they
things.
have your own theme song coming in.
Oh yeah, they play Oh Sheila.
It's
It's great to wake up to that at 8:00 in the morning as I stroll into WATD's studio.
Nice.
It's really
I
fun.
played a solo last Friday, and these two sat in and did a duet, and they just killed it. I got an email the next day from the owners that I couldn't believe everyone was just raving about it. But these two singers.
He's pointing to his 2 daughters.
Yes, he points to Mal and Sheila.
Well, what, you can't see this?
So Sheila, 2 very important questions. Have you been to DC, and does Tom know that you've been to DC?
Have I been to DC?
Yes.
Like the District of Columbia?
Yes.
No, never.
Oh, okay.
Have
You're
I?
off the
No,
hook.
I
Are you
haven't.
sure?
Why?
He was just telling us how you had a great trip down there.
Everybody else seems to.
So you missed the whole time. We're just making fun of him.
This is what I get for being late.
Yeah, no, that's right.
Yes.
So, but you know of Inebri-art because you work for the craft beer cellar.
I do.
So, how did you not tell us that your whole family is like a bunch of musicians? And...
It never came up in conversation. I'm so sorry about
Oh,
that.
that's all right. So you sang, but what else do you love?
Oh gosh, I don't really do any of that.
She's a great
I
piano
can carry
player.
a
Stop it,
tune
no.
and I can play like chopsticks on piano.
Come on.
I'm gonna have to talk to
Great
Carl
piano
because
player.
Carl's like, they all play music, and then I talk to you guys. And, Mal's like, I don't really. Sheila's like, Chris is like, let me tell you what I play.
I'll tell you anything you want to know. Well, there's an old saying that goes, self-praise stinks. And that's, you don't, I'm the greatest. That's
I generally find the people that say they're the greatest are far from the greatest.
That's absolutely right.
Sorry, Chris.
Check out the Fiffs.
All right.
Buy the album today.
Great plug.
Oh, so when did the album come out?
It came out on the 12th of
Okay.
February.
Oh, so it's like brand spanking.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
where
nice.
could you get it again?
Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, you can buy it.
Is there a website that misspells the fifth that people can find? Or?
Well, that's the nice part, is there's no other band called the Fiffs. So.
Okay. And how do you spell it again?
F-I-F-F-S.
I'm never going to get that.
We'll hold
So-
it up front.
So we were talking friendly, competitive nature amongst the kids, because there are 3 more of you guys,
Yeah.
correct?
Three
right.
boys.
3 boys?
Yep. Zach, Dan, and Pat.
And they so Zach is in third left.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't have that written down, so credit for that. What do Dan and Pat play?
Dan used to play trumpet. He kind of also did like the marching band thing.
Mhm.
But very much like Ben, was a better athlete than a musician.
Yeah.
So kind of hung on to the athletic side of.
He plays piano.
But he does, yeah. He can. Well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Ben's not giving himself enough credit. Neither are you, Sheila, because you guys can both play piano well. But yeah, Dan kind of hung around athletics, and then Pat, like I told you, is in my band and me and my father's band. So
Pat plays everything. Pat's,
yeah.
yeah, he's pretty good. He plays, you name it, he plays it.
I think the most, competition between siblings was between Zach and Chris growing up, trying to fight over the one drum set that was in the house.
Touche.
That's why I had to buy a second drum set.
Yeah, by a second. So, as the kids grew up, was your house insanely noisy?
So loud.
It still is. I go back there after living by myself for 2 years, and I walk into the house, and there's always music,
it
and
was
somebody's
so
always playing an instrument, and there's
loud.
always so much going on, and I'm like, oh my god.
That's kind of cool, though. Like, so this past Christmas, I bought my son for a Christmas present. I got him bagpipes. And
Oh my God.
I told my
That's
friends, they're
cool.
like, "Oh, your ex is gonna hate you." I'm like, "No, she's super psyched about it."
Oh
and,
my God.
So I think that
So do you play it?
we're getting him lessons.
Cool.
So
Where
yeah.
do you find the lessons?
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
She knows someone who plays bagpipes.
Really?
So yeah, so that's kind of how.
Cool.
Yeah. So.
Did he want to get into that?
I just no. Like I'm like that would be a cool gift, and I think he would dig it. And it was kind of like, oh, but it's also kind of a gift that you can't. It's like giving a kid a bike in the middle of a snowstorm. You're like, nah, that's great.
Does he see an early AC/DC with their bagpipe lead player?
No, I don't think
You
so.
gotta
Yeah, I'll have to look that up, yeah.
That's very cool.
But he's very much into music. He went to like 6 concerts this summer. He's really.
What else does he play besides almost the bagpipe?
Well, he plays saxophone.
Oh, that's
Yeah, that's how we got in the whole
How
marching
many
band.
kids do you have?
Just 2. Yeah. My daughter is teaching herself piano using YouTube.
Cool.
Offered to get her like a teacher, instructor kind of thing. She's like, no, I'm just going to teach myself.
You can learn so much on YouTube.
Yeah, oh,
Any
it's
instrument.
so
amazing.
great.
It's amazing.
And she's an artist as well. So
Very good.
yeah, she entered a piece in our first art show and almost won People's Choice. And then her brother looked at her and been like, "Oh, I didn't even vote for you."
How old is she?
She's 12 and he's 14. So,
That's nice.
Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah, they're really good kids. My son listens to the podcast, so he's a fan.
Hey.
You force him?
No. So when you guys get together, like on the holidays and stuff, do you automatically like this is like a big Partridge
tell
Family
you
like
what.
get together?
Funny you
Or?
should ask.
Pat Fey is the first one to pick up a guitar.
Yeah.
And he won't put it down the duration of the gathering.
Of the gathering,
It's pretty cool.
yeah.
We had a week-long vacation where It was the first time in a very long time where all, 20 of us?
Yeah.
18 of us?
Yeah.
18.
20.
With grandkids. With
Oh,
their
oh,
kids,
okay.
And
Yeah.
in-laws.
Yeah.
in-laws,
Yeah.
kids, all that stuff got together, and the whole week we were up in Maine, and Pat wouldn't put the guitar down. Pat and Chris were jamming. That's probably where they learned a lot of their.
Yeah, we wrote some of our album up there.
Oh,
they wrote
nice.
some of their album
That's
up there.
awesome. So there's
Yeah.
grandkids?
They took a piece. Oh yeah, but wait.
Okay,
they
sorry.
took a piece of Pat was playing the guitar for this one song, and on their album, on Fiffs' album, they took that particular piece from the video and did it as an intro to the song on the album.
On
It's
the
very
album.
cool. Then they
Oh,
go from
nice.
that video piece into the music. I'm sorry, what was your question?
So there's grandkids. Are they musically inclined or?
Yeah,
Have they started anything yet?
yeah,
Dale dabbles.
right?
yeah. But she's at that stage where she tries the piano, and then she took vocal lessons for like 20 minutes. She's at that. She's just finding it, but she loves to sing and dance
Yeah.
and all that stuff. You put on one of those Irish step dances, and she's all over the room just dancing like crazy. And the other ones, it's too young to tell. They're
Yeah, that's true.
3
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
2.
Oh yeah,
So
that's
they're
young.
much too young. We'll see. I don't see how they can get away from it.
Yeah, I was gonna say it sounds like it'd be tough. I feel like one of them is gonna be like, no, I really did chemistry.
We need a doctor.
Yeah.
He's an IT person.
Everybody needs an IT person nowadays.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I'm gonna try that.
No, but it was fun being up in Maine because Pat would have the guitar the entire time, and so someone like Ben who doesn't say he's musical inclined would start singing a song.
Yeah.
After a full day of drinking.
That's
Felt
when we
it
did the
out.
Tenacious D song. It was
Yeah,
so
it was
cool.
awesome. And we were all getting involved. It was great.
See, that's the one thing I always tell people. Like, as far as Inebri-art, Inebri comes before art.
There you go.
So that's.
Well, those are such big, like the whole painting nights and everything. People just eat that up. Man.
Yeah, we've kind of run through peaks and valleys.
Yeah.
Based on the time of year, and so we're figuring it out. But our life drawing group, that's what's really exploded.
Really?
Yeah. We were. If we grow much bigger, I don't know where we're gonna put people. We had 31-ish, 32 people last month.
What
So,
kind of life did you draw?
we bring in a model.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep. It's we charge $8, and it's always the first Monday of every month. And we have everything from people who have never picked up a pencil before to industry professionals. And we run it like a life drawing class where you start off short poses and you work all the way to a 20-minute pose. And it's people find it really relaxing.
That's cool.
It's a great group. Like it's very people who can be kind of intimidated. They come in, everyone welcomes them in. It's a lot of fun.
I thought this was about me.
Oh my god.
You are impossible.
I So,
Diva.
Tom, have you ever been to Washington?
I have actually.
Yeah. Well, so you had your band. You said where you were going to try to at one point to go professionally. Did you tour? Like,
New England, yeah.
yeah.
It was a band I was signed with when I was 18, Big Tree Records, who was called Run Groups.
Who's talking about? Am I?
I'm out of here.
Sorry, I don't.
I don't know him either.
Okay.
Are you kidding me?
No.
You know who tried?
Tell them the Buddy Guy story.
No, I'm not telling any more stories. You guys don't
No,
know.
It's called Rungrants.
Are you googling that?
You guys really not know who tried anything?
Oh, it sounds familiar, but no. Oh, was he that guy?
He's that musician, right?
Right? Yeah, that
So Ben, what's the Buddy Guy story?
You'll have to ask Tom.
don't
I can't
remember.
tell it.
I don't remember. It's too long. No, Buddy Guy came into a club I was working on, a band in San Francisco. And he came in and he just came up and jammed with us on stage. I didn't know who he was at the time. I was 24. Didn't know who Buddy Guy was. And yeah, it was just, we jammed with Buddy Guy. It was kind of cool.
Nice. Yeah. I thought there was going to be more to it.
But you knew who he is.
That is true.
He never called me again.
Yeah,
I don't
no.
understand.
Well, he's got a lot of great, like, 1 or 2 minute stories like that.
Yeah.
Whether it's equipment getting stolen,
Oh, what a classic.
or
Tell that
driving through a
one.
pumpkin patch.
Oh, jeez.
I feel like when you're in a creative field, you always end up in interesting
There's
situations.
always
In a
something
pumpkin
going on.
patch.
There's always something going on. There's always something happening. It's pretty cool.
So, as the kids grew up and got more inclined, was it ever like you need to bring your grades up or I'm taking guitar away? Was that ever
I don't think so.
No.
No, I don't think so.
That was never. That was because that's part of the education, right?
Yeah.
You read the math scores get better if you do music, just because music's 3/4 or 4/4, double time, half time, it's quarter measures, whatever. So it's math. So if you so to take that away doesn't help the education much. But there were other reasons why.
there were other things, not necessarily their grades.
There were other things you had.
Chris, you're suddenly quiet.
Zero. What do you want to know?
Yeah, there were. Yeah, it all works out.
But that's a really good point. I've seen articles and whatnot about art and music in general being linked to better education and whatnot. So as they grew up, did you find? Because you're all from Plymouth, correct? Grew up in Plymouth.
Yeah.
So I don't know the school system, were they cutting back on those things?
I don't think that point, were they?
No, not at that point, but they have since then.
Yeah.
Like Mr. Howard, the PCIS band, that was a great band. He was a great instructor.
But you know what? The
Plymouth North
Plymouth
has
North
an
vocal.
unreal music program right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like it's the
I thought they
total
really cut
opposite.
back the marching band and stuff, no?
It's not them who cut it. It's not the school who cut
Is
it
it
back.
just lack of interest, maybe?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly what it is. And now it's a cappella and theater that are growing right now. That's
And
what
it
people
is
wanna
a
get into.
great
And I think it has to do with who's running it. This guy Grossman, who runs it, the course, he's just done a phenomenal job with these kids, and as a result, he puts out a good product, and the kids look at it, being at a concert or whatever, and they say, "I want to be part of
Yeah,
that.
right.
Yeah.
I want to go do that. That's so cool." And he's bringing in more modern songs, and he's having the dance thing and the choreography and all that. It's very, very cool.
And that's so important. I remember in my high school, it was Mr. Oliveira was the band instructor, and he was so much fun. Like, he had people lined up waiting to get into the band class.
That makes a world of difference.
And then he left to go to Abington, I think, because they promised him, what is it, when they promised not to fire a teacher?
Tenure?
Tenure, thank you. And sure enough, he got fired a couple years later.
He was that good.
No, he was great, but it was some budgetary type thing. And then they brought another band director who just kind of didn't. He took it way too seriously, and it was actually the reason why I stopped.
Really?
Yeah.
Not taking it way too serious. You mean worked you too hard, or?
Yeah. To the point where it was not
Because
fun.
there's a fine line where this guy.
You can push people, but
he pushes them to the limit. They practice, in my opinion, too much. They too many hours, too many this. They're back, and the final product is really, really incredible.
This was more of a band rehearsal. Got over at say 7 or whatever time it got over. You'd be there till almost 8, marching in a dark field while your parents are waiting, and and it would get to the point where you'd be like one more time, and the whole band would just walk away.
Yeah.
So it was not.
Marching band's tough, huh?
Marching band's very tough.
Yeah, it is.
Is it?
Yeah. It's the parades are usually rain or shine.
Oh my God.
Which are not
Because you're
fun.
not only learning like an entire score of music, then you're like, okay, now learn all these walking moves, and you're
Instead, this part was the
piloting
guy
around
next
a
to you.
field with all these other
Did they
people.
put it on paper first? You have
Oh
to-
yeah, and you gotta memorize the hash marks and everything. It's tough. You gotta really want to do it. You gotta have some type of fun program where kids want to do it.
Yeah.
Because
So, and that like I enjoyed. The reason why I left the band was I really enjoyed concert band and jazz band, and going into my senior year, I pulled him aside and I said, "Listen, I'll play concert and I'll play jazz. I'm not doing marching band." He said, "Well, you can't do it unless you do them all." I'm like, "All right, I'm not doing it."
yeah, right.
I called his bluff. And
That happened in North too,
just-
though, didn't it? I mean, they make you. If you don't do marching, you can't do jazz. Didn't they do that in North?
I don't recall. I really don't.
No. I don't know. Yeah, that's tough.
So, what parades were your favorite to march in?
Honestly, I hated parades. I just liked being in the drum line. I thought it was cool to be in the drum line.
Yeah.
You know.
But they had a hot drum line.
Yeah, we had
drum.
we did. It was an awesome drum. When Zach was in it, And Andy Cardoso and Jeff Burgess, rest in peace, and all these guys were in it.
Yeah.
We had an awesome drum line. And so the band was, it was a great band. And the band fed off the drum line, we fed off the band because the band was really good. But I did like doing competitions when we were that good. Once, like, my brother Zach left, I sort of lost interest. I don't think I did band my senior year because, I don't know, the interest just wasn't there. We just weren't really good enough, and a lot of the kids in the drum line just weren't really trying or caring anymore.
Mm-hmm.
We really lost that.
took the heart out of it, didn't you?
Yeah,
Who
yeah.
left with Zach? Was Zach?
Well, there was Chute, there was Cardoso, and then Zach and Jeff Burgess, and then after, like, those guys left, it was just kind of like...
Are there people in that drum line that still play out in Plymouth here?
Zach, it's kind of funny. Andy Cardoso moved to California. He was an awesome quad player.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think he plays drums much anymore. Zach does. He's in third left.
Right, yeah.
Andy Chute, I don't think he plays much anymore.
No.
But this actually reminds me, we used to have this. So not only would we do...
There we go.
There we go. Good stuff. So we would do, once we stopped doing the marching band, we I don't know if you've ever seen the group Stomp.
Oh, yeah.
So we created our own little Stomp group. We were called Smash.
Okay.
And we would go to, and we were really good. We would round up a bunch of trash and bang on it, right? But we would do parades and stuff too, and that was just as fun once we got into, like, the marching band.
Cool, yeah.
So we did a lot of that stuff. So, but I don't know. It was
4th of July parade. They had a trailer that they got Shaughnessy.
Yep.
And they had the whole thing rigged up with
They built it up,
Yeah.
probably 15, 20 feet tall.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
then,
wow.
and
junk.
built.
And we really tried to
Shit.
mimic the whole
Yeah.
Stomp thing.
Drums.
We would get all the big barrels and these weird sounding tops of trash cans that sounded
Yeah.
like cymbals, and it was awesome.
Yeah,
we
it
had
was.
so
It
much
sounded
fun.
great.
That
But
sounds
they,
like a lot
They
of
were
fun.
over huge in the parade.
Yeah,
Huge.
it did. It went over
They
great.
really did.
We would do, like, the Plymouth Parade and then fly to Duxbury, do the Duxbury Parade with this rickety trailer. Trash on top of it. It was wicked funny. It was awesome.
Did you drive, like, up the highway?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Just crap flying
Everyone
out
just kept
everywhere.
passing us. I don't understand why. So, what happened to Smash? So
Some of guys get older. Cardoso moved away. I shoot, and then the guys started going to college. Well, you lose kind of interest in one. And it was a lot of work to build that thing
I bet,
every
yeah.
year
Yeah.
because you couldn't really save
I used to
it.
practice at the house.
Yeah.
Drag all this junk into my
Yep.
Just
shit.
Yeah.
so much shit.
Everywhere. And the neighbors would look at us and say, "Oh, what the hell?"
They'd be up
Well,
there.
that's an interesting
They'd be up there
thing.
doing
Yeah.
choreographed
So-
sweeping. That's right. Yeah.
Oh my
Midnight.
God, I forgot about that.
Yeah, because we would go
That's
to
right,
PCIS.
They
and perform
would
at schools.
they would
right.
come to the the intermediate school where me and Sheila were there, and they would perform for our classes in the gym.
Did you
And
heckle?
they were like rock stars.
I
girls were
felt like a rock
crying.
star.
They thought they
Yeah.
were the Beatles.
These girls were crying over
Yeah.
it and asking for their
Signing
autographs.
autographs.
Oh
I
my
felt
God, it
so
was-
cool because now I'm just like in high school and I'm like a cool 14-year-old and all these people think I'm a man. Oh, look at I'm going somewhere. It was a blast.
I'm banging on a trash can and people think I'm good.
In a room in a gymnasium.
But it would go late in front of the house. We'd have to shut it down like
Yeah.
11:30, 12 o'clock on a work night.
That was such a blast, just stealing trash to make a trailer. It was great. God.
So, do you get along with your neighbors?
They've all moved.
I can't imagine why.
Kinda, yeah.
They're all gone.
It's true.
We outnumbered them. You couldn't fight.
Hey.
But I feel like the cops would be like, really, again?
Well, for the longest time, we lived next to a cop.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah,
Very good friend.
Yeah, it was a
that's
great
awesome.
guy.
But,
There's still a couple crazies on the street.
Yeah, we're the old people. Well, I'm the old people now. Now the crazies, we gotta deal with them.
Yep.
so I always kind of ask our guests, like, what kind of encouragement, insight would you offer to people looking to get into music, starting off?
Don't do it.
Don't
No,
do
I'm
it.
just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I would say everything we touched on. Make sure you make it fun for yourself.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then start with something that teaches. Like, I thought piano was a great starting point. But maybe it's not for everyone, but I personally thought it was the best place to start.
It is. It is. It's a good. It is. Absolutely. It's a good foundation.
You know, you do got to have some concept of Being able to read music.
Yeah, you do. It really is. It helps out. Even if you don't stick with it, it's good to have with it.
And that making it fun part, I'm sure, carries over to baseball. Right? I mean, it's got to be competitive, but you wouldn't do it unless it's fun, right?
Is baseball as fun as, well,
As fun as what?
It's bang on.
I say I mean, baseball and sports in general, and that gets serious stuff. That's like, you know, and the music it certainly does too, but with sports it's like, you know, especially when you played to the level you did, it's like, you know,
fun.
done.
It was fun. We had fun. We had a lot of fun.
That was convincing.
Sounds like it was fun.
No, it was fun. It was fun.
It's not just grotesque.
What kind of music do you guys listen to?
Well, here's one.
Okay.
You asked a long time ago, what was it like growing up? And the first thing I wanted to say was a lot of Paul Simon, a lot of Huey Lewis, and a lot of Tower of Power.
Yeah.
And
Does it get any
Eagles.
better?
I was
Doesn't
wondering
get
why
any
you didn't
better.
tell his son to listen to Tower of Power.
Doesn't get any better
Talk
than
about a
that.
horn section.
Right.
Yeah, that's good
Oh, he's
stuff.
telling them right now?
There you go.
So a lot of
I love
that
Paul
stuff,
Simon.
you know, Tom played a lot of that with us, you know, very young. And I went out and bought the Huey Lewis and the News CD. I made sure to buy a couple Bob Dylan CDs. Paul Simon, obviously. And it's been a long time, but I got back into Tower of Power the past, like, few weeks.
Does it ever work in reverse, where like you're like listening to whatever you listen to, and Tom is like, "Hey, who's that?" And you turn him on to something?
Yeah, the Fiffs. F-I-F-F. No, not really.
Who's that band that, Wolfpack?
Wolfpack. That's your new
Yeah,
That's my
thing.
new jam.
Who is it?
That's Wolfpack. You never heard of them?
No.
Oh, get with it, would you?
That's why I have you guys here to tell me what to listen to.
Write it down. Wolf, how do you spell this?
I'm still trying to learn how to spell.
I don't know.
You should have that down there too. F-I-F-F-S. Like F like
Jesus.
Frank.
F like Frank. All right.
Three of them.
Got it.
No, but that's right. Pat got you into Wolfpack.
Yeah. And there's other bands that he
Yeah, see,
because
Pat will do it because Pat is very creative and has a great ear for music. Where
Plus, he dabbles more in the online. No, if
Yeah.
he'll search it on Spotify.
He's really good at that. Like
He
I
really is.
listen to the same stuff over and over again, and I like it. But he loves to explore new music
Yeah.
much more than I do.
Yeah.
That's my biggest.
I think that's the cool thing about him and Spotify. Where you put in one song like I like Tower. and
he won't shut up about Spotify. He keeps telling me to get it. I just don't want to
He
get it.
loves it.
Oh, that's great.
I love Spotify.
You get Spotify?
Yeah.
I'm a Pandora guy.
But Pandora kind of does the same thing.
Yeah,
you put in
right.
like whatever band
Right.
you like, and it plays
Right.
similar
It
things.
eats your data.
It's funny. If you look at all the bands we kind of grew up and listened to, Ben used to listen to like Thrice, right? Like a like a kind of a rockin' band, and then next week he was listening to Bob Dylan, had all Bob Dylan's records.
A lot of Bob Dylan.
Yeah,
A lot of Bob
you
Dylan.
crushed it.
Yep.
What about you, Chris? What do you listen to?
I try to listen to a little bit of everything.
Such a cop out.
No, you know what? I disagree.
Converge, because Chris does go to
I literally-
absolute extreme.
Yeah, I like hip hop. I like classic rock. I like hardcore. I like punk rock. I like it all. I swear to God, I like it all.
All right,
Except
so
country.
I gotta ask you the question that I ask everyone that says that. What do you sing to in the car?
Well,
So my favorite bands probably are Mars Volta, Coheed and Cambria.
They're coming around soon, right?
Yeah, we're all
We're
going to see
going.
them.
We're
We're all going to
going.
see them.
Except for me and Sheila, thanks for the invite.
Thanks so much for the
I did
invite.
invite you guys, you didn't answer. Back to the bands, but then I'll listen to like Converge and Refuse and some screaming bands,
Yeah.
and I love, I really do like, and then Riz and Jizz rap. I'll listen to it all. I really do. I think it's
Ben
important.
tells the story whenever they would go to high school.
Michael Bublé,
Chris-
love him, love him.
Chris would be driving to high school and having that screamo stuff. I'm 12.
At 6:30 in the
So
morning.
you can't.
Who needs coffee?
We did it. We did it.
Mel, what about you?
Honestly, everything. I'm country.
We already went over that.
Yeah.
Chris
I'm the
already took
only
that
one
one.
who loves country, though.
The only one? I hear
Except
it's
for
really
Sheila.
popular.
She likes country sometimes.
I used to like country. I don't like that new country crap though. The Luke Bryans of the world. I
definitely
hate
love
them.
Yeah. One thing I know about country, I have a buddy that works security for concerts, and he hates country
Oh, sure. All the
He's
fake
like,
rednecks
they
up here
are
in
out
New
of
England.
control.
Yeah.
Oh dear God, yeah.
And what about you, Sheila?
I
And what beer do you drink while you listen to it?
oh. Well, it depends on the weather. So, like, on cold, wintry, rainy nights, it's always like Jamie Cullum, who's this jazz artist from.
And when you're
I thought
walking on
beer
the
had
beach
to
in
do with the
moonlight-
night.
No,
the weather.
and then like
The beer, I'm
wine,
yeah.
and wine, but like if I'm like ready to go out and getting ready, I'll do like a heavier beer, like a double IPA, and I don't know. My newest favorite person to listen to as I'm pre-gaming at my house
It's
to
the
go out
Fiffs.
is the Fiffs. Fiffs.
Wow.
No, I'm not. It's a girl named like Grace. I don't know. Like Patrick will send me weird things and they'll link me to other songs, and I don't know. I listen to whatever Patrick tells me to listen to, basically. But like a little bit of everything. I listen to gospel. One time I was in here and I was rocking out to gospel, and people came in and they were like, "What is this place?"
Why, do you only listen to like one type of music?
Me? No, I'm very much all over the road. But just, when people say, oh, what do you listen to? Oh, I listen to a little bit of
I
everything.
think you
It's
got
like-
it. If you can't listen to a little bit of everything, then you're just losing out on all that culture.
Actually, the one that I've gotten really into the past year and a half or so, Mariachi El Bronx.
Interesting.
They are a hardcore punk band whose guitar player showed up one day and said, I want to make a mariachi album. And they're like, great, let's do that. And I think they've made
Cool.
2 or 3 since then.
I love
this
it.
mariachi stuff?
Yeah. And,
Is it like Screamo singing or is
no, it's mariachi music.
it really?
Yeah, it's great. And I went to see Flogging Molly's and Go-Go Bordello.
Cool.
Wasn't this summer, was the summer before. So it was almost 2 years ago. And there was this mariachi band playing. I'm like, what the hell is this? And I don't have great eyesight, and we're kind of far back. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. And I happen to look them up later, and it's like a bunch of white guys. And I'm like, what's this? And I like looked into it, and I saw an interview, and they're like, yeah, we're this hardcore punk band. And
That's cool.
They just showed up.
just decided to play mariachi music, and they do the whole get up, like the
Oh my
mariachi
God.
suits, and they toured with the Foo Fighters.
What?
Yeah.
That's very-
Been on David Letterman, Conan, yeah. So they're really good. I would strongly recommend them.
What's the name of the band?
Mariachi El Bronx, because their punk band is called The Bronx.
I love it.
So yeah, it should be great. So I think that's about time. I want to thank you all for showing up.
We're not done yet.
You're not. Well, you can keep talking, but we're gonna pack up. No, it's been really good. The biggest drawback of this, I'm gonna have to thank Carl. I don't want to do that.
All right, thanks, Carl.
Thanks, Carl.
Thanks, Carl.
So for our listeners, you can check out our live drawing, which we haven't mentioned, first Monday of every month at the New World Tavern. Check out the Fiffs. I feel like I can't even say it. I feel like I can't even say it right.
Come on!
Check out Third Left. Also, he's not here, but I'm sure they're on Spotify and whatnot.
I think they are.
Are the Feys? Are they
Fey
on?
Band, the Fey
The
Band.
Fey Band, are
We
they
just do live stuff.
just
We
live
don't
stuff?
record it, so.
Is there a website or whatnot, Facebook
Fey
page?
Band.
Facebook page.
Just-
Yeah,
yeah,
you can
Fey
find
Band.
search the Fey Band on
On
Facebook.
Facebook.
Find us.
And what about you, Mel? What do you want to promote? Nothing. You're too quiet.
Mel's on
She'll be-
Spotify underneath Northern Lights from Plymouth North High School.
Oh, yeah.
She's got her own single on there called Elastic Heart.
It's unbelievable.
It is
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
good.
Really good.
And
Nice.
iTunes.
Northern Lights,
And iTunes.
Elastic Heart.
Nice.
I wish I had something to plug.
Sheila, when are you on ATD again?
At first,
I'll
I'm
be on
like,
WATD next month.
at first I'm like, Mal's quiet, and now I understand why.
So
I do
being
all the
of us.
talking.
I know. I can't even imagine. So who's the youngest?
Mal.
See, I get it. Makes sense. Who's the
No, but
oldest?
you will find Mal and Pat this summer at Fisherman's View probably doing some solo acts. So you can find them there.
I feel like you need a whole domain on the web.
I know.
Pretty much everything that you guys are doing.
You should.
But,
Find it at
Allthingsfey.com.
the little-
I'll think.
Coming
There you
soon
go.
to an interweb near you.
There you go. It's on the interweb. And so I just want to say thank you guys.
Thanks
Been
for
great.
Thanks for having us, Andy.
That was great. That was fun.
And fish. No.
And fish. Yeah.
And fish.
He just carries things.
He doesn't say much, does he?
No.
There's a reason I'm sitting all the way over here.
I just volunteer him to do jobs, and then he's got to figure out how to do them.
It's cool. And I'll play. And Jenny for having me.
And Ginny, yeah. She was all like, 100 questions, and then we turned on the microphone. She got real quiet.
Yeah.
Well,
That's classic Jen.
That's why you wonder why all.
Well, she doesn't really know when we turned on the microphone. That's really
Oh, Mom.
Oh, the Jenny.
But yeah, so thank you guys, and hopefully we'll see our listeners next time.
Thanks, Andy.
Okay.